Let's take a look at some other substrates and see how these reactions apply to them. So in this case, we're going to take a look at an alcohol being converted to an alkyl halide. And so we have this alcohol here. And then if you just try to react this with sodium bromide, right, thinking that bromide is a good nucleophile, you'll actually get no reaction. And if we think about why, in order for this to occur, this would have to leave. However, OH minus is not a good leaving group. Right? It's not the conjugate base of a strong acid. And so what can we do instead? Well, one thing we could do is add some HBr or HCl as well. And so if you react here, let's take a look at this reaction. In the first step of this reaction, we'll have an acid-base reaction to protonate our water or our hydroxide. And so this becomes OH2 plus a Br minus. And then if you think about this, this is water, and so this will be a good leaving group. And so this group can go ahead and leave to form our carbocation intermediate. And then our bromine can act as a nucleophile to substitute in. To change to our Br, right? So we can see how this is essentially an SN1 mechanism to get to our Br. You can also do this with primary and secondary alcohols. However, they're not as reactive. Tertiary alcohols are going to be more reactive, so you're going to have to heat them. And then for secondary, you might have to worry about carbocation rearrangements. So they're not as useful for primary or secondary alcohols. However, we have other ways to transform these alcohols into alkyl halides. So for primary and secondary alcohols, if we want to make this into a chloride, what we can do is add some SOCl2 along with some pyridine. Pyridine is a base to get our product, which is now an alkyl chloride, right? Note that this reaction causes inversion of this stereocenter. You'll take a look at this mechanism later on in more detail, but for now we just want to use it because it'll be synthetically useful. If we want a bromide instead, we could use phosphorus tribromide, which will put a bromine in here instead. And again, we're getting the inversion of the stereocenter. And so you can see how we're using these SN1 reactions, or thinking about why we don't want to use an SN1 reaction, and then thinking about other reagents we can use to make our compounds.